A big hello and a warm welcome to all of you amazing and beautiful people out there. Welcome to my channel. In this channeling session, we would be talking about the DMs and the DFs, mirrored realization that the 3D relationships, the worldly relationships on planet Earth are an illusion. This is the realization. This is a very important and a very advanced stage realization, and this type of realization leads to surrender, an important step in the surrender stage. And as I have said before as well, without total surrender, illumination and harmonization stage cannot happen, and without these two stages, obviously the union cannot happen, the 5D union cannot happen. So all of these things, all of these stages are interlinked with each other, and the DM and DF who were earlier caught up in the runner-chaser dynamic, they had tried a lot to get out of it, but they were not able to get out of it. For some time it felt like they had no control over it, as if they are just running in a loop again and again. But realizations or epiphanies are very important in this journey, because they always happen when you are about to step into a higher dimension or a higher frequency, and it is obviously impacted by the experiences you have. So you might go on having the same experience again and again. Why are you continuing to be in that loop or the same type of experience? Is because you are not willing to let go of a certain habit pattern which is very addictive, and you have a certain attachment to it, because the DM and the DF, both of them were programmed to believe that certain very unhealthy, very unhealthy and very toxic behavior patterns in the relationship dynamic, in the relationship scenario, they were told that these particular patterns are all right, they are fine. So if you fall in love with someone, you can do this, you can do that. So there are, say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 things that you can do and you cannot do, according to what they were told or whatever they were programmed into believing. However, when you start working on your ascension journey, when you start doing your inner work very deeply and very seriously, you realize and you learn that most of those things were basically nothing but illusions, and those habit patterns or those toxic mental habit patterns were the ones that were keeping you in separation mode. If people continue to live in those toxic mental patterns and they don't let it go, then this life will get over, and next life will happen, and then you have to start from scratch. So the more stubborn a person stays, or the more addictive patterns a person has, which they don't want to let go. Like, many a times we know when we are in a relationship with someone, or someone is in a relationship with us, we know that behaving in certain way in private or as well as public, it's not good. It's not the healthy behavior. It's not the correct type of behavior. But we still do it because we are told that it is the right type of behavior by other adults. So is it the fault of the DM and the DF? We don't have to blame anyone, but we can say that, well, they were programmed to believe that this is correct or this is not correct. In a typical 3D scenario, in a worldly scenario, those things are fine. If you are in a karmic relationship, if you are in a relationship which is from the worldly point of view, God has just simply sent you because you have karmic baggage and you have karmic contracts with other people. So you are in those relationships, and for the whole life you are going to suffer because of the same things. The same things will keep repeating, and in the end, when your karmic baggage will release, when you're supposed to go through certain type of suffering, when that suffering is over, the time frame is over, then automatically you will be out of it. And it could also mean that you would leave that body, that physical body, and then you would move on and take some rest and your other lives would be pending and they would be coming along. So this is one scenario, So for some people, this whole ascension and twin flame and star seed, all this information does not make any sense. Okay, it does not make any sense, and they do not do inner work properly because of this reason, because they are very attached to believing that if I act in a certain way, it is love. If I act in a certain way, it is love, and that certain way is normally romance. So most people think that romantic behavior is love. In reality, romantic behavior, and this will only be understood, or this can only be experienced by twin flames, because they are experiencing unconditional love, or they are here on this planet to experience unconditional love. And when they embody unconditional love within themselves, then they start distributing it to others, either by their aura or by their mission work, or whatever God has planned for them, whatever divine has planned for them. Okay, they are going to do something or the other that will uplift the community. They would be of service for sure, because when you have unconditional love in your heart, it's not seen as romance anymore. There is no concept of romance in a relationship between a man and a woman if it is unconditional love. There will be responsibility, there will be respect, there will be support, and there will also be being truthful. Like what happens when you are in a relationship with an egotistical person, even if you tell them that, I don't like this about you, I don't like that about you, what they will do is they will take it very negatively. They will react very negatively, they will get angry, they will not like that type of criticism, and they will not forgive you. They will keep it in your heart, and that will affect their life or upcoming days or months with you. But in case of an ascensioner, they are going to see it like it's another person's perspective, and this is my perspective and this is that person's perspective, and both of us have our own perspectives. And that's why, there's no point doing an argument. In a toxic relationship, you will notice that there will always be a lot of argument and a lot of justification, but it would be without any conclusion. So for example, in a toxic 3D relationship, which is very romantic by nature, maybe the two people are giving flowers to each other, they are buying gifts for each other, they are even wearing matching clothes, they are wearing the same color clothes, or they are fighting with others also for them. They are going on evening dates or lunch dates. They are even spending a lot of sexual energy on each other, whatever you can call it, romantic means for each other. Now they could be doing a lot of these romantic activities, but you say one thing to the other person and they will react so much, because the ego is very high and they cannot understand each other's perspective. If one person says that I don't like this, you have to change this thing about you, if you don't do this, then we cannot be together, it will be very difficult for us to be together. The other person will say, why don't you change? Because if you will change, 100% of all the problems will go away, because the problem is you are the one who has this problem. So this person says, why should I change? The other person says, why should I change? And both of them will keep arguing to prove and to justify that my way is the highway. Whatever I am thinking, that is correct. And whatever he or she is thinking, that is not correct. Okay? However, when healed people have a conversation, when two healed people are in a relationship, when two ascensioners are in a relationship, they are going to think, okay, this is his perception or her perception and this is my perception. The other person will also think exactly the same way. And if nobody wants to change their perception, they would come to a middle ground, they will find a solution, because after all they love each other, or they're going to think that maybe I should not be so attached, I should let it go, I have to speak my truth and the other person has to speak their truth. So as much as I respect my truth, I need to respect their truth also, and eventually the conversation will lead to a conclusion. Okay? But 3D relationships, arguments have no conclusion, And the worst problem is that even if they come to a common ground at that point in time, because sometimes people get really tired of fighting also though, so they say okay, let it be right now. In the moment they'll patch up, in the moment they'll make up with each other, they'll say okay, I forgive you, you forgive me, but they will not release the energy in their body or in their minds or in their soul. They will keep that energy within themselves, and when the next fight will happen, they will bring it up again. That you did this to me in the past, you did that to me in the past, you've always been like this, you can never change. And then it will be more volatile, or it would be more saddening, or it would be more annoying. And then this will go on for sometimes people spend morning till night fighting with the same person, arguing with the same person on the messages, on the phone call. Maybe they'll take a break in between and they'll say, hey, what's up? So what did you have for lunch? The other person will say, oh, I had a burger. Oh, okay, fine. So how's work going? Work is going fine. What about you? Then one person will say, how can my day be fine when you have said those mean things to me? The other person will say, I said those mean things to you, or you said those mean things to me? Oh, really? Do I need to remind you? You're the one who said those things to me. Oh, what about your mother? Oh, really? What about your father? And then it will go on. And suddenly the boss will call one person, or something else will happen, and this one will say, okay, I'll talk to you later. We'll continue this later, or I'll talk to you later. And then after 2 hours again they'll continue, or in between whenever they get time they'll keep texting. So the whole time goes by in doing this. There is no time for analysis, there is no time for understanding where is this trigger coming from, there is no time for acceptance, there is no time for nothing. If the situation is very bad, if the negativity is too much in both the person and both of them are not willing to let it go, then that's when the separation stage comes. Okay. Now, in most twin flamers, the runner has their own opinion, the chaser has their own opinion, and both of them have gone through pain, both of them have gone through difficulties, both of them feel that struggle, both of them feel the push and pull. It's not healthy for two people in a runner-chaser dynamic to continue to be together. It can be life-threatening, it can be fatal, it can be really bad for your health, and this is the only reason why in the twin flame journey separation is a must. Separation is so very important. Otherwise both the energies are so intense, that they can bang against each other and create a huge collision, and by the time the person will realize, it will be too late. Sometimes it becomes very easy to share this information, but sometimes the energies are so dark, especially in the 3D reality, in the 3D world. People are just not willing to let go. People are not willing to let go of these harmful toxicity because their programming is very rigid. And on the world level, like last month it was the Lionsgate portal, and I would be sharing the September month's energy update in some time after I complete this channeling. Many people have gotten affected by the Lionsgate, and there are people who got drastically affected by it. There are people who got personally, if they did not fall sick, personally if they were doing good, and I'm talking about readers, I'm talking about healers, I'm talking about channelers, I'm talking about teachers, I'm talking about coaches, because I'm also connected with other people. If they personally did not get affected by it health wise or energy wise, then someone very close to them got affected. So in some way or the other, everyone was affected. And then there is this this virus talk going on all the time. There's too much programmed energy going on right now. It creates this density in the atmosphere. So I'm going to tell you one thing, that if you got affected by Lionsgate, it will be for your good. Remember that, it will help you, but the recovery would be slightly slow, and you would be hearing certain news here, hearing something over there, somebody will call you, somebody will do this. So just be very careful of these toxic energies. Don't get affected by it, and look at your relationships from a ascension point of view, from a 5D point of view, not from a 3D point of view. Because if you're going to look at your life from a 3-dimensional reality, You would be making comparisons. There will be enviousness, there will be jealousy, there will be possessiveness, there will be arguments, there will be discussions which have no conclusion. All of those negative things will happen around you, or people are falling sick, or this is happening, or that is happening. The best way is, like, there is a funny statement in Hindi, but I think it's a very deep statement. It says, mast ram masti mein, aag lag jaye basti mein. I don't know how many people are from India right now in this channeling. They could totally understand this statement. Mast ram basically means a person who's totally chilled out. So the chilled out person continuously chills, okay, even when he or she is sitting in the middle of a fire. There have been certain funny memes also where you see a person on a swing enjoying, while in the background there's a huge fire going on, and they have no idea about it. They have no clue about it, that so many people are standing next to a fire, and there's a fire brigade is there, and all of that is there. Why? Because they are in another dimension, another world, and they are totally chilled out. Now, being in the ascension world, this should be your mental attitude actually. Like, mentally you should be very chilled out, you should be very relaxed, you should be in a state of mind which is content and peaceful, no matter what your situation is, no matter where you are, what you're doing. Okay, but why do we need this energy? And I'll also tell you why so many people got affected during the Lion's Gate. There are different types of impacts that took place. Some people were doing very good ascension work, but they are not doing any mission work. They are not contributing for anybody. They are not, helping anybody, and they have certain type of addictions. So the universe's way to bring us out of that energy is to either make us fall sick, so that for some days when we can't do anything, we start valuing that time when we could. Or there would be intense neck pain or shoulder pain or backache or something which will make you feel really, that you can't do anything at all. Okay. Now, this is the attachment towards the 3D relationships. Let me tell you, whether you like it or not, but if you are attached to the concept of 3D love, if you are attached to the concept of worldly love, if you are attached to addictive habit patterns or mental patterns that you don't want to let go, if you are attached to certain things or certain TV shows or certain type of content which is very negative and very depressing, which does not go with your energy, which does not go with your frequency, but you do it on a regular basis, you do it on a daily basis sometimes, because it's just an habit, it's just a habit, you just like it, you can't get out of it. So it will not let you uplift your energy. So you have to be very careful and aware, when you are doing that awareness work, when you are very careful, when you're doing that awareness work and you uplift yourself, your own energy by your own experience, or taking help of, say, prayers, or you take help of source, you talk to source, you get into some counseling mode, you get into something that helps you realize that your attachment is not the truth. It could be towards a person, it could be towards a food item, it could be towards a relationship pattern, it could be towards family members, it could be towards neighbors, whatever it is, but it is not the truth. 3D relationships are an illusion. Now, this does not mean you stop talking from people, you totally get isolated, you break all your relationships, you go to some forest and you make a small hut over there and you live there. A lot of yogis, rishi munis have done that also, and they do that also. Time to time they go away and they try to work on themselves, and that's the reason why people create mission, and that's the reason why people do spiritual mission work continuously on a regular basis, so that they have a go-to place, so that they can recharge their batteries again and again. And very important, it is to be hands-on with the type of content you give to your mind. Okay, if you are eating unhealthy, then you need to change that. If you're sleeping unhealthy, you need to change that. There are a lot of things that you will do, people do, which make them realize that 3D relationships are actually not the complete information that you have. And this, the DM and the DF will learn from some kind of soul shock, some kind of tragedy, some kind of scandal, some kind of heartbreak, some kind of disease, some kind of family relationship which they had a lot of trust on, some kind of, even like I said, backstabbing, betrayal, disappointment. Lot of things will happen, or one of the things will happen, but there will be a certain type of situation that will play out in such a way that both of them will get connected to the idea of unconditional love. For private sessions, personal readings, guidance on dream interpretation, counseling and therapies, please go through the description box first, and once you're sure, write to me at thesunamoon@gmail.com. When it comes to Twinflame intuitive readings, I prefer not knowing anything from you about your journey before the reading, because we should get the best and most accurate answers that can boost your ascension journey. That is the whole purpose. We will discuss your journey during the reading. And in case of therapies, it's very important you share with me different facets of your life and do the assignments given to you to help you share, and this is done so that you can share without any inhibitions. Once you release those thought patterns or your mental patterns, or even the energy, energy connected to those memories, we can help heal the wounded inner child. Because the wounded inner child is the primary reason why the adult goes through separation. And this is such an imperative step, because all this work can lead to 5D union. Without the 5D union, 3D union is not possible. And friends, you can get my book In the Name of Love, which has 5 channeled twin flame stories based on 5 different types of twin flame dynamics. It's called The Journey of Finding Your Ultimate Soulmate. The link is given in the description box, along with the links to the YouTube channels Ramayana and Mahabharata Diaries and the Sunamoon vlogs. Because as much as food is important for body, the right type of content acts like food for the mind. We need to deprogram negativity and keep up with the ascension lifestyle, not stay stuck in the worldly life, in the 3D life. Or else you can even get married to your twin flame, or everything will be looking like it's all worked out, but still once again fall into the separation, and there will be a loop. So friends, ascension is a lifestyle that we all twin flames need to follow. And while I wrap up this particular channeling session, I would like to say to all of you people that we have very valuable, precious time over here. And all of this time that we have, no matter what we see happening around us, we must always value this time, because we are in the ascension journey. For us, most of the things are predestined. You might not be aware about it, but by the time you reach to the level where you are listening to channelings, you're doing podcasts, you're listening to podcasts, you are reading books, you're doing inner work, you are only focusing on source integration and devotion. That is the time, surrender. When you are surrendering, that is the time when you start feeling a lot of emotions which you had never felt before. And all of this happens because the right information reaches to you, it acts as food, and you also act upon it. Okay? And that's the reason why people do mission work. People who are on mission work, they are healthy, they are fit, they are happy, and they can distribute this energy to other people also. Or they are at least contributing to somebody, somebody's life. They are in somebody's life, they value, they are taking care of somebody. So it's very important, and thank you so much for being here with me. One love and peace out.